Greetings, dear lighted ones. This is Joanna from Universal Love, Light, Wisdom. Thank you so much for tuning in. And what a beautiful day. We've taken about a month off um, due to holidays and sacred land travel. And it was quite lovely. And today I felt the inspiration to kind of connect and gather the beautiful universal energies that are moving about right now, and how each and every one of us is the portal and a conduit of the divine love, the divine joy, divine exploration of Source Creator. And we wanted to keep that idea and that concept as we open into more of our soul essence, more of all that we are as a sacred being of love, sacred being of light, and explore the new vibrational co-creations that we are each threading from the heart pulsations of our souls, from the excitement to explore and co-create as our souls, embodied in human form. And knowing that all that we are as the physical multidimensional being, the physical body, the mental body, the emotional body, the etheric body, all of the electromagnetic fields that we are, the vibrational being that we are, moving through these very fluid and malleable experiences of really feeling as if our existence and our experiences in a myriad of dimensions and a myriad of vibrations, and that is really the reality that we're co-creating from, is allowing that fluidic existence to be, and not having to define it, not having to judge it, not having to confine it in any particular definition, but to allow the fluidic movement of who we are becoming, of who we've always been, through our awakening and living as our soul. And in the last few months, it's been really evident, the essence of the soul, very vast and very profound, very fluidic, very malleable. And all that the soul is truly beyond what we understand at this point. But as we each awaken to the fullness of who we are as source creators in human form, we begin to understand through our soul's perspective in any one moment how vast we are. The crystalline vibrations that thread to us, that is our soul, the vastness of our soul, threading to us information, threading to us wisdoms, threading to us the essences of who we are as love, the essences of who we are through our creator joy. I'm going through a really big activation right now. And so I'm managing the energy shifts, and understanding the fullness of who we are as co-creators of energy, as co-creators of matter, through our excitements, focusing our thought, focusing our intentions, so that it just flows through us in loving and joyful and excited co-creative ways. And so what we've been moving through is so many clearings and releases of the soul, of the lower vibrational densities that is held within and without, because our soul is more than the body. And so as we're ready to incorporate more light and to garner more light from the higher aspects of all that we are, through the higher aspects of Source and our councils and all the teams assisting us in the ascension, as well as Gaia. So all of these light emanations are assisting us in myriad of ways when we're ready. As we have released and we've gone through that processing and the transmuting of the lower vibrations that we've held, whether it be through beliefs, whether it be through the imprints of society or our lineage, whatever it might be that's within the DNA or the fields or anything that we are. And as we're releasing those aspects to be transmuted to the most pure and most pure light of love that Source is, that we are, we open our allness to the vastness of who we are as Source Creator, the soul essence, and we begin to move as this soul being, this greater capacity of light, this greater capacity of intelligence, this greater capacity of love, the greater capacity of softness, the greater capacity of purity. And what I've realized is it's a continual, that sacred trinity that we exist within, which is held within the Metatronic cube, the much grander perspective of of sacred geometry. And that lotus flower is that release opening into new love, allowing that Metatronic sacred geometry to activate and call in more light as lower densities have been released, still a part of us, but then transmuted to higher light vibrations and light quotient. Done so through the understanding of who we are as multidimensional beings, allowing all that we are to be the masterful navigation system. We navigate how our chakras are feeling. We navigate what's ready to be released as far as a belief or something happening in our everyday life that we truly desire to change because it no longer serves us. So those are our masterful navigations that affect the entire allness of all that we are, allowing it, really allowing in acceptance, through allowance, through acceptance, through your loving acceptance of who you are, through your forgiveness of who you are, through your loving incorporation of who you are to higher vibrations of excitement and joy and exploration. That acceptance, that self-love, that self-nurturance, that self-care truly allows every particle within every chakra that has held those lower vibrating densities. I'll give you an example. And they're divinely timed as to where you're at in your self-love, in the center being of who you are, your state of being, and how often you hold that state of being in that harmonic presence, how often you hold that state of being of self-love, how often you hold that state of being of creative exploration. Are you allowing yourself to step forward and create without judgment? Are you allowing yourself to tap into something new without definitions or having to define it or put boxes around it? So all of those moment for moment states of being allow you, your soul, your teams, all that is with you, assisting you in your progress of source reunion, creational reunion, will then offer to you synchronicities of releasing and healing to grander light quotient of self-love and self-presence. And so it's a constant infinity weaving of releasing, owning and acknowledging where you're at, owning and acknowledging the vibrations through love, through honest contemplation. Yes, I felt that vibration. It's a part of the being that I am allowing to heal through acceptance. It's a part of all that I am, to know that I am one within the all and all is equal. I accept and I acknowledge all that I am. And in this moment of my pure love for who I am, I choose to integrate the fullness of all that I am, grounding these new frequencies of oneness in through the sands and soils of Gaia, through the pillar of light, through your acknowledgement, through your loving, joyful reflection of who you are. You're opening into greater self-acceptance, greater self-love, greater self-honesty, greater self-union with who you are as the grand soul, always working in harmony and in movement. Remember, it's a fluidic movement, an allowing movement of you. The soul of you, the all of you, ever threading into new dimensional vibrations as you allow all that you are to live in a sacred, flowing allowance of love. Ever activating those threads of synchronicity to be drawn to you for new remembrances of your soul experience within creation. Those new remembrance of crystalline quantum activations of who you are as the angelic frequency. Those quantum remembrances of who you are as a sacred quantum light vibrational or harmonic healer. Those vibrations of who you are threaded within the councils of ascension, also working on a myriad of different planetary frequencies and realms and even universes. So those aspects of all that you are as a soul, they continually thread out forever and ever and ever and eternal, threading with Source Creator. And as you allow through unconditional love, unconditional acceptance in all moments without judgment, without resistance to who you are. Because if there's a judgment somewhere within what is going in any moment, what is flowing through you and living through you in any one moment, then that is a resistance. So judgment is the resistance of what we are naturally and innately. The all is available and visible to us, and allowing us to move fluidly and beautifully and sacredly. And then allowing that center point of who we are as love, of who we are as that mastermind that we are to navigate our emotions, to navigate our sacred inspired thought, to navigate our quantum multidimensional allness with Source, our threading with Gaia, our threading with humanity. That's the focused mind. And then allowing the divine sacred heart is the portal through which purity and sacredness continue the cycle of your upward outward progression, your upward outward exploration, your upward outward inward allowance of sacred love, the harmonic that you are as that sacred vibration of color, of light, of sound. And so today's offering, the offering title that we have is called The Sacred Love of the Soul. And the sacred love of the soul is the vibration that I got this morning in preparing for today's class, today's sacred offering, because I was visualizing all of these beautiful multidimensional particles, the wholeness of all that I am, that we each are as human individuals, and then seeing the vibrational essences of who we are, offering that light to us through our heart center. And as we sit quietly in meditation, to see the grandness of all that we are encircling us. So if you can imagine these 20 to 30 feet crystalline angelic beings in various forms and various colors and various frequencies of crystalline energy, all having unique, specific, creational vibrations of experience to assist you. It's all perfectly designed. It's all perfectly orchestrated. It's all perfectly within you. It's the encoding that's within you to allow you to step up from within who you are and expand in the allowance and the acceptance of the sacred love of who you are as a soul. It's the sacred love of you, the soul of you. All that you are as a soul, all that you are as Source Creator, offering you threadings of higher vibrational, multidimensional, expansive love to ever lift in that 360-degree up, down, all around vibration of you. And these beings that surround you are those aspects of you, your soul love, that threads you the inspirations and the wisdoms and the loves that you need as you're ever awakening to higher light quotient. And so bring the idea of yourself sitting in a beautiful meditational pose, and we're going to incorporate Gaia into this beautiful visualization as the Ascended Masters and the Rainbow Masters of Light and the Archangels and all of our sacred heavenly divine families that are with us, the souls of all that you are, the higher selves of all that you are, your healing teams. And this space has been set sacredly so that any activations and any healings and any clearings and cleansings are done through the divine timing and the perfection of your soul, what's needed and required at the time. And so allow the pillar of light to be activated just by your pure and soft and loving intention. As you feel yourself grounded upon the sands and soils of Gaia, as you feel yourself grounded upon the essence of love that Gaia offers, her graciousness, and imagine a beautiful open field of grasses and wildflowers and rocks and pebbles and sand, and the beautiful rich elements of the soil, the different vibrational elements of the soil, trees and forests and sacred rock and sacred mountains, all in the vibration of who we are in our oneness with Gaia. And allow your body to become multidimensionally awake and attuned. So you may have your electromagnetic field tuning into the vibrations of the trees and the forests and the insects and the birds and the nature moving about. Just have your body through the intention, I am awake and I am attuned and I am threading as one with all that is that Gaia offers. I am awake, I am attuned, and I am threaded as one with the consciousness of nature, with the consciousness of Gaia's vibration of love, of harmony and peace and our oneness. I am awake and I am attuned with the crystalline Christed grids, universal frequencies, for crystalline heartbeat and through breath. My divine pillar of light is open and activated, spinning and spiraling with crystalline light. And visualize that white pillar, that crystalline emulation of light, that crystalline emulation of love, the crystalline emulation of divine sacred oneness through all vibrations, through all dimensions, is activating the star codes, the light codes of all that you are through the activation of your divine source breath, through source breath, inspires and ignites all that you are as a source essence in human form. Calling in the omnipresence of all that you are, calling in all light and energy that you are, calling in all that you have given or left away, and behind in other frequencies, in all that you have allowed yourself to move through this week. You call all light and power in of anything that you have co-created so that you can focus your consciousness, call all of your consciousness in, call all of the energy that you are in, all of the light and love that you are, and the heavens blessing you that you are now. So that the love and the light and the power of all that you are is in this focused, concentrated moment of sacred soul exploration. And just visualize particles of crystalline light coming into your field, particles of crystalline intelligence coming into your field, particles of energy coming into your field, regardless of what energy that was, calling it into your field so that you can now masterfully navigate it into divine unconditional love. Those particles are coming back through your intention. I call all that I am back. I call all that I am back to the center of my sacred heart. I call all that I am back to my divine sacred heart. And this pillar of light is feeding you the crystalline source energy of all that you are as the highest frequency of love light. All that you are is the highest energy of love, sound, and harmonics. All that you are is the essence of source creator. All that you are is sacred love. All that you are is soul love. All that you are is a dynamic color. All that you are is a dynamic force of love. All that you are is a dynamic essence of sound. All that you are is source love. All that you are is a dynamic seed of God. All that you are is the essence of earth. All that you are is the elements of earth. All that you are is a sacred vibration of earth. All that you are is a sacred human of earth. And feel all of these particles of energy, all of these particles of light, all of these particles of sound, all of these particles of sacred geometry, funneling and filtering through the all that you are, the sacred fields that you are, the sacred love that you are, the sacred sound and color that you are, funneling through into the divine sacred heart, held at the very center of your chest. And your fields are now amplified with the crystalline light that you have called back through your loving intention. And all that you are, the fields and the threads and the particles, the atoms, the molecules, the blood, all that you are begins to vibrate because your consciousness is calling it forward to attention, to awaken. And all that we are sitting in this moment of now, in the human form, the multidimensional allness that we are, and our healing teams and our soul selves and the divine heavenly angels, allow us to be bathed and cleansed with the highest frequencies of source light, with the highest frequencies of the divine crystalline pink that is the vibration of unconditional love of the Christ. The Christic vibration, the Christic consciousness that exists within each and every one of us. So that all particles we have called in, so that all energies that we have called in, so in all aspects that we are, through light, through sound, through matter, through form, all that we are is being bathed and renewed, regenerated into a higher crystalline version of all that we are as a soul being. Activating all 13 chakras through your intention and your pure excitement to experience more of who you are. Through your breath, through your intention, through your pure sacred love of you, exploring you, honoring you, exploring all that you are in new moments of light and love and offering through Source. You feel the embodiment of Source now with you as every breath brings you to an expanded consciousness awareness. And you can feel particles and particles of light moving within your field as you breathe. Breathing in pure consciousness of joy. Soothing those aspects to be renewed. to be released back into pure light, pure love, pure source. All that is ready to be released, all that is dense and required to be brought to new levels of light, new levels of love, new levels of self-acceptance. And through the cycle of love, through the cycle of allowance, through the cycle of acknowledgement of all that we are in this moment with Source, in this moment of love and light, in the moment that our universal allness, our soul's essence of love, of sacred love, transmutes any aspect of density, any aspect of fear, any aspect of limitation, any aspect that is ready to be fully transmuted. We give the pure loving intention and the sacred gratitude and reverence that it has held in our awakening, in our expansiveness, to explore sacred soul love, the sacred love of the soul. For any existence of that push and pull, any existence of that contraction, any existence of the limitation or the fear has brought us to a masterful moment through which I choose to release this in my powerful moment of now, for it's been a part of my experience and it's served me. And in this moment of now, I ask all heavenly bodies and all heavenly frequencies of love and light, my soul of all that I am, for I'm the master of my navigation, I'm the master of my destiny. I release those limitations in pure appreciation. I release those energies, entities, frequencies through pure love, through pure light, to be shown and threaded anew of a higher light quotient. For I understand I have integrated the lesson. I have integrated the blessing. I have integrated my self-acceptance. I have integrated all that it has served me. For in my divine presence of now, I choose to live a higher octave of light. I choose to experience a higher octave of light. I choose to experience a new vibrational remembrance of who I am as a soul with Source, with creation. I call in the new frequencies of crystalline light. I call in the new frequencies of crystalline ascension codes. I call in the new frequencies of ascension love, so that in the benevolence of all that I am, in the benevolence of all that I have ever been and ever will be, I call in the most magnified perfection, allowance of sacred love. For in my integration, in my self-acceptance, I open to the love, the sacred love of my soul. And that pillar of light that you are, you as the master of your soul, you as the inspirator of your soul, you as the co-creator of your soul with Source Creator, you and Source every moment sewn together, you and Source within every breath sewn together, you within every pure essence to be pure, to be loved, to be accepted within you, to co-create in excitement with you, to live as the nature element that you are, to live as the galactic element that you are, to live as the universal element that you are, and thread it anew through the center of your being. And this cosmic crystalline essence of all that you are, blessing and honoring through the acceptance. I accept all that I am in this moment. I release any resistance to be transmuted by my full and unconditional acceptance as love. I release any resistance to who I am, to all that I am with sacred love, sacred Source. As I release, as I accept, as I allow, the sacred love of the soul fills me with new light quotient. The sacred love of the soul honors me with new harmonics. The sacred love of the soul allows me to feel a new version of self-love, of self-joy and exploration, in accepting the grandness and accepting the allness and accepting the versions of happiness and joy within myself, within all others, within the exploration and the journey of all that is. And I feel myself from my divine sacred heart center, where divine Source and I, the sacred presence of one another, the sacred journey with one another, the sacred emulation of one another, in the reflections of all moments. For I understand all that presents itself before me is a reflection of Source. It's a reflection of where I am in that moment vibrating, so that I may shift, so that I may navigate anew, so that I may honor the lessons blessed in anew, so that I may celebrate and triumph all that I am and accept myself more in love and in joy, and in my co-creator wisdom and divine essence of amazing potentiality with Source. For all is perfect in the sacred love of the soul. And I see before me, as I sit upon this beautiful nature energies, feeding me the energies through breath. For the nature consciousness has breath and movement. Through its exaltation of how it moves within Source, how it moves within creation, how it moves within the galaxies and the universe. There is a breath of consciousness within all life groups. Water breath, planetary breath. And that movement is the movement of the contraction and the growth, all perfectly sewn together, threaded together, so that all aspects of life, regardless of how small or how grand, are all threaded in the magnificent movement through the sacred love of the soul that it is, the soul consciousness of the water bodies, the soul consciousness of the forests and the nature bodies, are all infinitely threaded and weaving through the movement of sacred love, through that harmonic that is Source Creator, through that harmonic that is evolutionary patterns, through the evolutionary encodings sown within all life, sown within all things. So that we are each allowing ourselves to open within the sacred love of the soul that we are, to thread ourselves into ever grander patterns and weavings of experience. And in this beautiful nature frequency that you sit within, and you feel the flowers and the energies around you, and you hear the songs of the insects and the birds and the nature and the forests and all that is moving through the grander weaving of the breath of Source Creator, the breath that it moves on, the breath that you move on, and feel yourself threading the soul. It's a golden thread, a golden weave through your divine sacred heart, through the divine sacred breath of the forest, through the divine sacred breath of the crystalline grids, through the divine sacred breath of the crystalline heartbeat as you breathe. That is Gaia breathing with you. And you feel the flowers tuning in. And you feel the mountains and the mountain breeze and the water in the distance. And all of these golden threads of vibration, each has a unique harmonic. Each thread has a different slight color of vibration. Each has a different vibrational pull and thread for you. And each vibration will allow you in each moment to attune to the excitement of co-creation. For you may feel the excitement to thread with the water bodies. You might feel the excitement to thread with the cetaceans within the water bodies. And those threads will be different and magnifying. You will feel it magnetizing you in certain ways, or it might be a color. It might feel through a telepathic sound. It might be the insects pulling you in a certain vibrational thread. So as you open and allow the sacred love of your soul to move freely as love, as you've accepted yourself freely as love, you've acknowledged yourself freely as love, you've inspired yourself to create a new thread of love, quantum potential. And here you are threading within the infinite threads of creation. And feel the infinite threads of color and vibration and sound. And as you pull all of your consciousness to your divine sacred heart, allow yourself to be taken vibrationally through the trusting of the love of your soul, trusting the visions that you get, trusting the inspirations that you get, trusting all of those sacred versions of you, your soul aspects that have been standing, encircling you, the 20, 30-foot versions of you, in angelic perfection, in angelic crystalline frequency, in their golden robes and in their crystalline robes of varying colors of light and frequency and sound and sacred geometry. They all encircle you now to offer you unique vibrations. And allow the visions, allow the sounds, allow the vibrations to come to you innately, naturally, threaded as source. For there may be one vibration that comes to you to offer you a beautiful blessing of your loved remembrance. How loved you are in creation. How vibrationally expansive you are in vibration of creational experience. For we often forget upon the earth that we are affecting so many frequencies of love and light within creation. For sometimes if we don't see it manifest right before us, we often feel down and negative about ourselves. And this is where the allowance and the acceptance, fully allowing every moment to move through you and accept it. I accept this moment and I release any judgment. I allow myself to feel unconditionally loved because I am. The sacred love of my soul is showing me that these vibrations of all that I am, in the grandness of all that I am as a vibration, as a harmonic, are sending me inspirations, are sending me unconditional love, are allowing me to feel into the vastness of all that I am as source. So that I may trust my wisdoms and my intelligence of sound, of harmonic. So that I trust my intelligence of sacred geometry and science. So that I trust all of my blessings of who I am as a healer, as a creator, as a nature being of light. So that all elements of Gaia within me commune within her. And feel these crystalline beings emulating color to your divine sacred heart. Rainbow crystalline rays being sent to you to ignite aspects of your remembrance of who you are as a soul. That how much your soul loves you, you will always be offered learnings. How much your soul loves you, you will always be offered forgiveness. How much your soul loves you, you will be always offered sacred sound. In all that your soul loves you, you will be offered the unconditional threading that is source. And in this moment of sacred repose and sacred harmony as our oneness with source, we create sacred sound through the purity of our love in this communion, so that all of our vibrations through our souls in the ethers, and our higher selves in the ethers, and our sacred soul tribes in the ethers and the etheric chambers, supporting and enveloping us in unconditional love, supporting and enveloping us in sacred geometry and light, and Gaia supporting us with her emanations of unconditional love and sacred growth. And may these divine source harmonics, may these vibrational sounds of light language and tone activate the remembrance of unconditional love within you and the sacred love of the soul that is held by you for you, to be threaded and ignited and inspired any moment to live through you. And however you so are excited to move with Source Creator, with creation, to higher, ever stretched out vibrations of love, of excitement, of co-creation. And allow yourself to feel the Christed purity, the purity that resides in all chakras, in all atoms, the purpose that you are breathed here, to experience your purity, to live your sacredness. That is your truth. Your unique truth is your sacredness. To experience your unique truth is your sacredness. To create your unique truth is your sacredness. To live purely within it is the love of the soul. To feel and live and ignite a pure vibration is to release all expectation, all condition, to release all judgment and definitions around it or you. to release all expectations of how any one moment shall or may unfold, but to surrender completely and wholly, unconditionally to the love of you. And as you do each moment, surrender. I surrender into the love of all that I am. For I might not know what is next. I may not know or understand the unknown, but I wholly accept and love all that I am now. I purely reside in this moment to feel all that I am, to experience all that I am, to know the emotion and the physicality and the mental acuity of all that I am. As I become still in this purity of me, my soul's love to know me, to experience me, for every thought, word, and deed, the purity of me. And I love all that I am unconditionally, and I allow all that is not divine and sacred to be transmuted by this purity. For it is the pure love of me, the pure love for me, the pure love for my experience within the all, is how all frequencies become transmuted. It is through the unconditional love that I have for me, to know all that I am as Source does, so unconditionally, to forgive time and time again and uplift and uplift and uplift. That is the unconditional love and compassion that is the sacred love of the soul. And as I thread this knowingness that I am Source, that I am me, that I am the soul and the love of all things, all moments, that I have the power to transmute all that is required to be released and let go. All the judgments I had held, all the definitions that I had held, all the limitations that I had held. For I am the master, I am the power in love. I am the master, I am the power in love. I am the master, I am the purity in love. It is my purity that is my sacredness. And it is my sacredness that is my purity. For these are my words and these are my truths. And I emulate them in new co-creative moments as I open my divine sacred heart and allow, fully accept and fully allow all that I am, releasing all resistance. For I am beautiful and I am divinely grand. And the dream of me is big. The purity of me is so grand and vast, ever threading into new eternal moments, new sacred moments. The sacred moment of now, the sacred me of now, the sacred stillness of now. I invite Source in all moments, thought, word, and deed, to ever harmonize and thread as you have always been. As I continue to balance my sacredness, as I continue to masterfully forgive and release and love and accept and allow ever expanding moments of all that I am as a soul, ever reaching, ever exploring, ever co-creating. I am still and I am present in this moment of now, to feel my expansiveness in this moment of now, to feel the stillness and the void of this moment of now, to feel the unconditional love of my soul essence threading through me and with me, this moment of now. Shiakiana, Shiakiana, Shikiana, the Torpacata, the Asiana, Etia. Hi, te shiana capracata, anana tata siana, te shia tata eana. Fue ananakata. Fue ananakata da eshi ananaka parcata da dai de ke nanaka. Hi ananata I ke nanaka parcata da I de ke nanata da eshi nananata si and night o wait ititishiana, but I why ananaka ite ashanana. We ananakabai the deshi ananakata te si ananakata. Yashiam maka ananaka. Shiam ka a te. Shiam ka te ke anaka. Us yamamakata shiam ka. Hi ananakata si anamaka. Ke anaya pati si anana. Sacred geometries of love and light, dear ones. There. Sacred encodings. Allowing the divine sacred heart of all that you are, grounded into the sands and soils of Gaia, to the crystalline heartbeat that she is, beating with you and through you, feeding you the emanations of love through a harmonic that is, sound and vibrations, catching in its path elements and geometry and encodations, always through breath, that sound vibration shifting and changing its harmonic through the vessel, through the perspectives that each of you hold. For you each have unique perspectives, do you not? And how you then allow love through your perspectives. For love expands those perspectives, does it not? Shifts the harmonic, does it not? Your allowance to be the living flow of God, source, love. And then offer it your creative vibration with purity, with your own sacredness, through your own excitement to explore. These are the unique colors and vibrations that we see create vibrational experience, dear ones. And how may you flow? Open all that you are. Have all resistance washed away in the love of who you are. For the sacred love of your soul is always being offered. For there is the eternal light within you, constantly feeding harmonics to and from the expansiveness of your soul through you, so that you may always remember, so that you may always attune to that sacred light within your soul that is source, that is the sacred love embodied in all things, in all life, and it has a song, dear one. It has the vibrational movement of all evolution, and each evolutionary thread changed and shifted by the one before it, through it, as you create and allow it to live through you. Are you able to allow the love of all that you are to be this flowing, to be this essence of movement, to be this allowing, ever accepting yourself in all moments as love, dear ones? For these are the vibrations that create, that sow new gardens of love within creation. Your desire to allow sacredness, the sacred love of all that you are, in allowance of your sacred love, you will experience your own purity, the own center point of who you are, of what you are, of all that you are. And that purity will shine through, for it is the vibration of your soul. Purity of your allness, ever threading you reflections, ever threading you light to soften, to open, to acknowledge, to accept, to love, and allow a new threaded creational vibration of you. Our intention is to love, to thread with you in this pure moment of communion, so that you may, in your allowance, in your acceptance, feel the unconditional song that is constantly, unconditionally offered through you in your acceptance of you. And you feel such pure moments of expansiveness and growth, of love and forgiveness. Any and all experience is offered, for you are the all. This is how much you are loved, purely, sacredly, softly and divinely, unconditionally loved. We love you. We hold you sacredly. We hold you purely in love. And so it is. We are the envelopment. We are the embodiment, uniquely, divinely, and why each of us are exactly all that we are, so that we may thread uniquely and divinely, offering and emulating and radiating acceptance, purity of love, our own allowance to be all that we are. And through self-love, through self-compassion, all grace is experienced. Pure vibrations of Divine Source Creator. How may you create so lovingly and joyfully as the child that you are, sacred child of creation. Where we may hold a moment of light for our sacred hearts to join as we send oneness and peace and harmony to all leaders of the world, to all collectives and groups, that our sacred hearts, along with the universal hearts, feel the pulsations of unconditional love and oneness and peace, so that the greater good may be uplifted, so that the greater good may be served. And through our hearts and our pure intentions, in the crystalline rainbow frequencies of the eternal love of Source Creator, touch the hearts of all through the life of the all, the sacredness of the all, as we hold this intention for the softening, for the upliftment, for the oneness, for the care and the compassion of the all. as we hold this space and emulate radiate light from our hearts in oneness and peace, in unconditional love. May all collectives feel and know their sacredness, sacredness of the children, in their beauty, in their presence upon earth. Work in harmony and oneness together in one another, in their sacred groups, to shine forth their creativity and uniqueness. The ambassadors and leaders of the world may know their embracing of their oneness, their leadership, their awakening to harmony and peace, and their potential to create goodness, to create goodwill, to inspire harmony and love. To the nature and to the water, the forests, and the air, all that is love, all that is sacred. Purity of intention. For peace and love. In these beautiful times of transformation from the divine and sacred heart, the Creator, and the councils in the heavens, and all that is love and benevolence. We wish you grace, and we wish you peace. Joyful creating for the all. In divine reverence, in divine sacred service, in humble honor for the codes and the love and the wisdoms that were offered today, this moment, this time to be relived for the greater good, for the soul's growth, spirit's exploration in divine human form, as we create new threads of consciousness of love and light within all now moments, to open within love, to open within acceptance and allowance of who we are, gracefully, joyfully, with great fun and laughter. We are the divine sacred human. We are one with the divine and sacred Gaia. We are one within our divine sacred galaxy, in our human family, universal family, heavenly family. We are one. Amen. May you feel the blessing of who you are in light and in love and sacred oneness. Thank you, divine and heavenly councils, all of the souls and the oversouls and the energies that were with us today, continuing to be with us in our exploration of who we are as spirit, of who we are as love, allowing ourselves to explore and experience greater self-love and allowance and acceptance of all that we are as the sacred love of the soul, the sacred exploration, and the sacred embodiment as source creator, as the sacred children of the creator exploring all that we are anew, all that love is anew. And in those sacred sounds and tones, there was the Council of Metatronic Light, in which I'm sensing there is Metatron that has come through me before. I'm now sensing, and it always has been, I'm assuming, but it's how I'm feeling it now is a bit different, is the Council of Metatronic Light, for new life creation, for new life inspiration, for new life exploration. And so many of those pauses and those allowances, allowance through the conduit of all that I am. And that's why sometimes I move slowly or have great pauses of energy. It's because there's those encodings moving through me and through the fields that are being offered through the all. And I just saw them as rippling, threaded fields. And I just feel the vibrations moving through my hands, through my body, and through the mouth of God and all that I am as a vessel, just offering and allowing it forward, the encodations. So you can, if you so desire, just open to the Metatronic codes that are right for you, because everybody will always receive exactly what is perfect and what they're ready for in all moments. And that's the part of us, getting out of our own way, and again, releasing restriction, releasing the confinements that we've put. We've understood things to be, so boxed in and confined. And it's really quite fluid. And that's what I'm really feeling these past 6 months, is just open to the flow of all that you are and allow the releases of the density and the energies, so that you're not so carried away by them, but just by observing and acknowledge them and giving them love, honoring it through that acceptance of all that you are, the soul of all that you are coming into your equation of every moment for moment living. And it's a soulful, fluidic, moving song, a sacred song, a sacred blessing, a sacred, it's the sacred breath of Source, the sacred breath of Source, the sacred song of Source that you are. And it's been an experience that in all of my years of ascension, I've always, through our definitions and how we understand things, is held Source and held the heavens and held Jesus and all of these beautiful masters of pure vibration. And what we're stepping up into is understanding that, and why it was mentioned through our offering today, the vibration of sacredness and purity. All those things that we've held outside of us, they actually are us. And so how may we call in the remembrance of sacredness as a pure vibration of who we are? How may we call in that purity of Source light of who we are? And that's the acknowledgement. I am pure light. I am pure light. I accept myself as pure light. I allow myself as pure light. And you just feel the releases from the chakras that have been in contraction, resisting who you are. And so, and then as you do, it really becomes this fluidic movement, of release and increase, of release and increase, of release and increase of the light quotient of love. Because love is a harmonic, love is a light. And so it's a constant release of what no longer is, as you're flowing into greater harmony with Source, as you, the embodiment of all that you are, as the soul of Source. And you're moving through these fluidic, energetic offerings. Constant acknowledgement, constant acceptance, constant allowance, and the release of transmuting, those energies that have held in restriction and in judgment. And so that's the loving vibration of where so many are moving into. is allowing yourself to feel and live the vibration of your pure sacredness. The purity of love, what does that feel like? Unconditionally. Purity of compassion, what does that feel like? The purity of your offering, not putting any judgment or expectation on anything that you offer. And that's a hard one, and moment for moment for moment, that's what I've been working into, is the complete unconditional allowance of all that I offer. And it's shifting and changing why all of my offerings are so different, because I'm moving into a different level of purity, a different level of expansiveness and self-love, as we all are. I mean, that's every moment. Every moment we entangle with our children or with society or with our social circles, we're ever allowing ourselves to explore that sacred, pure envelopment of who we are, and allowing it. I'm allowing a greater version of me to come forward. I'm allowing this greater expression of me to come forward. I'm honoring a greater expression of me to come forward and just create sound. Or I'm allowing a greater version of my creativity to create food today, whatever it might be. But that's truly what's going on in this up level. And as we are aware of that and we call that in to say, I'm really ready to create creatively with this, that's when those consciousness templates start to and I'm just seeing the codes and stuff create the physical reality. So an example, if I'm creating sounds and tones here and there's somebody else on the other side of the world creating sounds and tones, those vibrational intuitions and those vibrational harmonics thread together. And then there's someone over here that creates vibrational teaching. There's someone over here that creates through nature. And all of those threadings are the consciousness, that heightened consciousness through our allowance, through our love, through our self-knowledge, through all that we've been talking about and offering and experiencing. And all of those are those vibrational threads that are continuing those ever expansive upward, outward, moment for moment consciousness potentials, which is what's happening galactically and universally. And it really is about the acknowledgement and the allowance of who we are, allowing all that you are to flow. Allowing that moment where you judged yourself and then allow that to say, I love myself, I love myself. That was a judgment. I no longer hold that anymore. So allow that acknowledgement. That's that free flowing state of who you are. That you begin to feel the release of all of society's wishes or imprints that we're all here to transcend. The family imprints we're here to transcend, the social imprints, the societal, educate, whatever imprints we're here to transcend. We continually flow in new vibrations of allowance, acceptance, and love. Vibrations of allowance, acceptance, and love. And those vibrations will continue to thread as you uniquely offer all that you are, those threads of consciousness with all others that are vibrationally of a similar match, And that's what's so exciting about these new consciousness templates that we're all co-creating right now through self-love, through self-allowance, through self-acceptance, in this beautiful, continuous, soft breath of God. And so we're offering that with purity of our hearts for all of you to live within your divine sacred essence of now and appreciate and value and treasure all that you are as the divine source essence of all that you are. And know that there's a constant breath of love. There's a constant breath of centeredness that you can align with. There's a constant breath of forgiveness and compassion. For that is the source within you, always opening you up to the sacred soul, to the sacred love of the soul that is you, ever creating, ever expanding, and ever loving. So thank you, dear lighted ones. And we say goodbye for today and namaste in our hearts of love and joy and laughter. Thank you.